Hello there and welcome to another Minecraft 1.15 tutorial this time. My name is ShadowC and today I'm gonna teach you a block-by-block tutorial on Mumbo Jumbo's concrete breaker machine. Now if you're one of those 5 or 6 people who don't follow Mumbo Jumbo, I'm just gonna show you, demonstrate for you what this thing does. So you step on this pressure plate, you're gonna hear some TNT exploding right there, and then you put... Wow, that's loud. Oh my god. Okay, that's much better. So you start getting the concrete right here. There you go. And then it's going to get blown up for you. I'm going to show you after a while. So it's going to get pushed down right there, and the TNT is going to blow it up for you. And then once I leave the pressure plate, it's going to stop coming down. That's a TNT duplicator that we have right here, as you can see. And then there's a water stream, and it's gonna get all of the concrete for you. This machine is blazing fast and it's freaking amazing. And so I wanted to build one of these for my survival world, which is now 1.15. This is also useful for example, cobblestone or tree farms. For example, that oak or birch tree farms, you can pile up the wood logs like so, and then have them blow up with this automatic TNT duplicator right here. So I went to Mumbo's channel and I wanted to, learn how to build this thing, and I realized that he doesn't really show you a block by block. He doesn't really explain. He sort of talks to you about the concept, and he walks through a little bit some of the concepts. None of them are his concepts, but he puts them together in a very beautiful way, so that you can have this beautiful machine working. So since he doesn't really explain how these things work block by block, I went and downloaded his Word download. He kindly offers that in the description of this video. Now, by the way, that video is going to be linked in the description. You should go and see it if you haven't. This is probably a really popular machine, so you probably have. So I flick this lever right here, and this is 1.15 world, and wait for it. Wow, this is not breaking now, but as you can see, there's one little problem right here that I haven't seen. So he hit a lot of TNT in this place. Now this is not working for some reason. Well, this has blown up, but you have the idea. I thought that this thing was no longer working for 1.15. So yeah, there you have it. One of the dumbest things I've done in my entire YouTube career. So for now, we're not going to be looking at this particular machine. We're going to be looking at my version of the machine, which I sort of recreated in a... You could say that it's likely simpler than this one. A lot of this piston concept is exactly the same, but then I reworked the entire clock back here. This is a much more elegant solution, but my version is going to work, and I'm going to teach you the block by block tutorial. So let's go right into that. So as you can see, I not only made this clock a little bit easier to follow. So first, this piston is gonna fire, it's gonna drop one of the TNTs over there, and then this clock is gonna take place. This is I think it's a racing edge monostable circuit, which is going to retract these two pistons for just enough time for the TNT to drop, right in time to blow up right there. But I made one little improvement to this thing. So in his device, he has a lever right here that you have to manually switch. That's kind of unsafe, because if you unload these chunks, that TNT duper I think can break. That can give you a lot of headaches to replace. So I just created this pressure plate right here, a little bit of decoration in the room. What this does is simply turns on that redstone dot right there. It turns off the torch, and then is going to in turn turn on this one, which is going to put the whole mechanism into work. Now the time that you get out of the pressure plate, that thing is going to stop, so it's safely turning off the machine for you. That's a tiny little bit more of automation in this thing, but the rest of the machine is pretty much the same, and I am now going to start teaching you the block by block tutorial on this. So the first thing that we're going to do, and I'm going to do it one block lower this time, is we're going to put, let me just make it align so that it's easier to copy. So I'm going to put 8 blocks of obsidian right here, and then I'm going to go all the way through the block limit. I mean the water limit, which is 8 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. And then we're going to go one down, and we're going to do the same thing with 8 more of this. Yeah. So let me count it: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. And this is going to be our water collection system, which is going to be a 6x6. You can probably use packed ice in the bottom so that the items will flow faster. Although, in my opinion, that is not really necessary because this thing is quite fast as it is, and items flow quite rapidly, you know, through just water in the 1.13 up versions. But you should have something like this. And now I'm gonna use some hoppers because this thing is really fast. So what I'm gonna do is let me put a chest right here. This is going to be the collection system. Of course, this can be a like a full-fledged storage system. You can refer to my other tutorial for that. But I'm gonna do a line of hoppers. You really need to make sure that every hopper is facing into another hopper. If you do this, the hopper is facing down, you're gonna clog the items right here. They're not gonna flow. You're gonna lose a lot of production. So shift click right here and make sure that every one of your hoppers is facing another hopper. So I'm doing 4 right here. I think with 3 is going to be enough. So you will be the judge of that depending on how many things you produce with this farm. You could have like several farms hooked together to the same TNT. You know, concrete in one side and then cobblestone in the other side. You can build this thing to be like a pretty big farm. So you know, this is going to vary. And once you have that done, I'm going to put the water streams in place. This one goes up to here, and then this one comes through this place. That's perfect. And then the items are gonna flow right into the hoppers. So that is amazing. To make this a little bit safer, I would say I would change something here. So I put the chest right here. I put another hopper here facing into the chest, and then I would put another, I think it can be any sort of block right there. This is going to make it so that all of the items get into a hopper, and you know, for one of those random things of Minecraft physics, you're going to avoid one item like going to the side and you missing the item entirely, and you're gonna have some droppage, some spillage of items. So yeah, that's the bottom of the farm. Now let's get into the fun stuff. Alright, so we're gonna base all of our farm off of the first piston, which is the place where you put the concrete powder and it's going to be turned into concrete. So we're gonna go through roughly the middle of this water stream, which is this one right here. So we count 1, 2, 3, and the third one is this one. So I'm going to shift click a block because we're gonna measure this thing. It's gonna be 17 blocks up from this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It can be a little bit higher, or yeah, I would recommend not lower than here. I'm gonna grab some scaffolding blocks, which I'm going to use this nice smooth quartz, which you can now trade with the mason villagers, which is awesome. You can set up a trading hall, and you're gonna be filled with these blocks. So now that I have this first block right here, I am going to remove all of this. We don't need this. There you go. So the items can fall down. Now we're gonna use a concept that is called like zero-tick piston, but I'm gonna show you roughly how this is done. So you place a torch right here, and then I'm gonna put a piston here, one piston facing up, and then we're gonna power this piston instead of the piston below. By the way, this concept is very nicely explained by Mumbo in his video, so you can check that out. So we put redstone right here. You see it's not power, but if we place something in here, it's going to get powered by this block. So that's going to be a very fast temporarily power pulse right here. So I'm gonna put a slab right here because we don't want to power this piston itself. Oops. So redstone here, and I think now I'm doubting this. I think this is how it's done. So we power this piston right here. Let me get the powder. So if I place something here, yeah, that's gonna be zero-tick, as you can see, and it gets moved to the side. And next we need to make it so that So let's put a block in here. They get converted into concrete. So there needs to be water flowing from here. Now I'm making it 2 blocks away because of the way I need to surround the water. So for now I'm gonna do 2 up, I think it is. I think it's how I did this, maybe 3 up. I'm going to do a 3x3 thing. There you go. And this is going to stop the water here. Right, actually it has to be 1 lower, because otherwise it's going to spill. So let me just do this. There you go. We can remove this one or we can cover them, it doesn't matter. Now we're gonna take a water bucket and place a water source right there. And if I did it correctly, yeah, we should have our water system going right there. So now if I do this, the first one is going to be staying right there, and the next one is going to get converted into concrete. So when I keep doing this, it's going to make a line of concrete for me until it reaches a limit in which this piston can no longer push. And that's the limit of the farm. We're gonna cut it short a little bit earlier than this. Now this line is going to come in handy for us to measure the next part of the farm, which is the piston that are to push the concrete down. Now one little correction. Now this thing is gonna work perfectly for our contraption, but I actually realized that I made this 1 block up. So we can lower this or not. It depends on, you know, what you choose to do. But this is actually how it's done. So I'm gonna remove this here and I'm gonna place it down. Nope. I said down. Perfect. So we'll remove these blocks from up here so that is flush with the piston, as you can see. And then this one I realize is also 1 block down. Now as I just said, it's gonna work all the same, but this is the way it's been done by me. And now I need to replace the water here, of course, because of this. Now I put the water again, and now it's the exact same copy of what it's right there. And it's gonna work the same, but this is what I have in the other contraption. Now you can cover this up, and now you're gonna have the row of concrete. I'm gonna prove it to you that it still works. So let's remove this one. And we keep going, and it gets converted into concrete. Just perfect. All right, now to the next step. Where this thing ends, we want to have a row of, again, 0-tick pistons. So we're going to do them like so. And I'm going to do 7 of them, which is a little bit less than the actual range of the machine. And I'm gonna do another row of pistons pushing downward. So they're going to push down all of this stuff right here. And what Mumbo did, which is not necessary, but we're gonna copy it here because it's a really cool concept. We're gonna have a row of comparators. So I'm gonna put a floor right here. So when this is occupied by a block, we are going to have this block transfer power onto the other side. So we're gonna have our platform right here. I think it's 2 redstones if I am not wrong, and then this goes like so, and then we are going to put a slab. I think it's like that, and then a block. I need to go there and check it out again. Yeah, that's perfect. So what this does, I'm gonna get into here and I'm gonna just fill the entire thing with redstone dust. So every time there is a block of concrete into one of these places and there's a signal coming in from this block powering this one, it's gonna travel through the other side. It's gonna power the redstone signal onto the back. It's gonna power this piston, which in turn is going to 0-tick power these ones, each of these ones individually. That's the way Mumbo did it, so that we can get all of this row of concrete pushing downwards, so that you can pile it up and then, blow it up through with your, TNT duplicator. So for that, we're gonna use furnaces because we need a set amount of items into these furnaces, so that this comparator outputs a specific value that is going to be just enough to only power the piston that is being allowed by the block right here. The reason being, he wanted individual pistons so that you would first fill this row up, and then the second one, and then the third one. You wouldn't have to wait until the end of the row to have them all push at the same time. In my opinion, it's the same thing. It doesn't make it faster, it makes it differently, it makes it more elegant. You could just have, as I did in my own version of it, it's not shown there because I changed it later. I just put a torch in this and a repeater. We'll have full signal, and then everything would power at the same time. You only need one of them to get the signal, which is the last one of them. Once you reach here, they all push down at the same time. But with the Mumbo system right here, you will have each and all of the pistons firing up individually. I think it's more elegant, and what you need right here is 55, as I measure myself, redstone or whatever items. And as you can see, only one of them fire, and it already pushed the concrete block down. So I'm gonna fill the rest of them. But let me show you another one, just for the sake of entertainment. 55, I put it, and the second one fires. If I do one of these, for example, I can do another 55, and only that piston fires. This is really cool. You may want to do this just for the sake of being cool. To be honest. So yeah, so I'm gonna do the rest and be right back. Alright, so now we have all of the piston mechanism in place. We can once more test this. This is always a good thing to do it. So we're gonna be facing this place right here. The reason being is that you can accidentally hit the water if you do it. For example, let me just place one here. If you do it this way, you can do it this way, but it happened to me like at sometimes I was aiming the wrong place right there, and you accidentally hit the water and break the contraption. But as you can see, we had one piston pushing all the way down, and then the second piston is pushing our concrete. This time, oh, I missed it. Yeah, don't do that. That's gonna break your thing. So now you're having the second one do it for you, and then the third, and then the fourth. So you test it all, and then I'm just gonna remove a bunch of this. And now all of the things is in place, and the only thing missing is the TNT duplicator, which is a very, very dangerous thing. So if you're in a single player world, please make a backup at this point. In fact, I'm gonna do it right now. So I'm gonna save and quick to title single player. So this is my world creative 1.15 tests. I'm gonna edit and then make a backup. And there you go. It's really fast if you have a small world, of course. And then we can just go back to the wall and break it, because this is bound to happen at some point. You're gonna have an accident and you're gonna break a lot of the stuff that you built right here. It's not a big deal, it's just, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes of your time. But if you can make a backup, it's the sensible thing to do. Now what I'm gonna do right here is put some floor down here. I think I did it this way or something similar. I'm gonna check it out in a second. So that your player is gonna be standing here, and it's going to be putting the blocks here, which means that somewhere around here you should have a pressure plate. And as I explained earlier, this is good for your TNT duplication health, right? So we're gonna get a signal from here up to where the clock is at. So the TNT duplication is going to happen only when you're standing right here and ready to be putting the concrete powder into the machine. Alright, this is just right, except we don't need a block right here, and this was just a 3x3 area. And now if you want to decorate this a little bit, we can use some gray glass, which is really cool, because you may want to actually watch this thing in action. So you set up a beautiful glass wall right here, and you can see the entire thing happening. Now what we need to do is go 2 blocks down from here, set up a... Where's my redstone? I swear I have redstone here. Anyway, redstone dust right here with a torch. And what that's gonna do is when you stand here, the torch is going to turn off, as you can see. And when you leave the area, it's going to turn on again, which means that we have an inverted clock system going on right here. And we are going to power it from right there. Alright, so I cut myself off there because I was rambling. Yeah, so we have the signal right there, which is good. Now, in order to know how to get there, I'm going to start building the TNT duplicator chamber right here, and it's really easy. So you get the second furnace right here, and you're gonna build some sort of a concrete cage, which goes roughly like so, 2 blocks, and then one more. And there you go. And right here, you're going to place 2 pistons. So let me grab one from here, and 1 and 2. And these are going to be extended at all times, except when you want the concrete to fall. So we're gonna put redstone right here. Alright, so TNT duping, which is a fun stuff, but actually very tricky. Now we're gonna have the slime blocks right here. We're gonna do a triangle like so, or an L shape. Yeah, that's what it actually is. That coral fan, any type, I think works. We're gonna put the TNT right here and some sort of wall. And then from here, we're gonna do another triangle like so, or an L shape. And we need the detector rail right here and a minecart. Now the minecart on top of the detector rail means that this is powered at all times. So when we push this sort of blocks over here to the front, it's going to be on top of the TNT and it's going to activate it, but at the same time it's going to be duplicated. I have no idea how this works or why, but this is sort of like the concept behind it. Now the first time you activate this, it's going to change. It's not going to duplicate or activate the TNT. It's going to change the TNT position so that the TNT is going to be actually in this block instead of here. And that's why we build this one block, this whole contraption in the front here, one block to the side, which is not what you see over there. And I'm going to show you right now. So I'm going to put a sticky piston in this place. There you go. And then some structural block and a repeater to power it. And this first time that we're gonna do this, we are going to put a torch right here, and as you can see, it moves forward. And then when we unpower this, everything goes to the back, and the next time this moves, it should duplicate the TNT and have it fallen into the chamber. Now you can test that. It's gonna be make a big mess of the floor. I guess we can do it, right? So you do that. Yeah, there you go. That works. And now that blows up, and we need to fix that, of course. Now, for reasons that already became quite obvious, it's really important that you get this clock right, because we're gonna be powering these 2 pistons right here. These ones are gonna be holding the TNT in place until the last second, where it then gets dropped and it blows up somewhere in the air around this place, effectively blowing up your blocks. And since we are in post 1.14, everything that gets blown up, you are going to get items from. Nothing's going to get lost, which makes this machine even more awesome and easier to build. So I think it's a 6x2, or yeah, 6x4 floor that you need to do right here. And I'm going to work on the clock that we have over there. All right, so this is sort of like the flooring for our clock. It's going to be like that. We are going to have a torch right here, and this is when things start becoming dangerous. So I'm gonna do repeater set to 4 ticks, another one set to 4, and then set to 1 tick right here. Another repeater set to 4, 4, and 1. That's my clock. I'm not sure if it's the same as Mumbo's. This could be different. And now what we need to do is hook up this signal onto this torch so that this torch gets powered down. And you can do it in a set of different ways. You can choose a maybe a torch ladder, something fancier. I just choose to sort of do a redstone thing over here. Nothing too fancy. But of course, if you're one of those pro redstone builders, you can make this much better. But as you can see here, I have a nice little thing, with the exception that this is not going to work. This has to come probably to the side. We'll see. So we continue this from here. This is powering off that torch, but in fact it's not. So it needs to like circle around. There you go. That does it. So yeah, you need to do a little bit like swoop around here, or maybe this might be a better thing. But yeah, we're kind of like one block off. So, but the important thing is that this torch needs to be turned off. Now I'm gonna put the redstone right here, and if I break this, you're gonna have a clock coming here with a very long signal here. It doesn't really matter in my experience, this still works, but what we need to have is a clock coming off from here and unpowering in fact another torch that is sitting right here. I'm not gonna put the torch because that's where things start getting hairy, so the torch is gonna be the last thing I'm gonna do once everything works. For now I'm gonna shut off this clock, which you do by just applying some signal into the block right here. Now everything is powered off and we can just you know, get our signal from here and work on our other clock, which is really simple. So we're gonna go one down again here, and I think it's 4 blocks that I did in this case, another redstone, and so we're gonna start creating some delay. So 3 repeaters set to 4 ticks, and then 1 extra here, so that makes 4, and then another block because we need to actually come around, and then 2 more of this. Hopefully I'm doing this right. And then we're gonna set a, I think it's a racing edge monostable circuit or something like that. Just because this is a concrete maker, we're gonna use concrete powder to make this work. This is gonna cut off the signal because we don't need the entire length of the signal being here, and a repeater here, which I think is set to 1 tick or 2. So it's a 3 tick repeater right here, so that was kind of important. And this is kind of off, and I don't know what's going on here, so let me just go back. I'm just gonna move this because I made a mistake right here. I just wanted to have this 1 block away, but from this repeater right here, but you know, that's not how it has to go. So we're gonna move all of this 1 block over there. This shouldn't be a big deal, it's just 1 set of repeaters. We remove these ones, this is 1 tick, and then we do the torch right here. Now the problem is that the torch needs to be turned off. There you go, it's powering this thing, and yeah, oh, the clock works once, yeah. Well, and that's why you make backups. Anyways, now that that's been fixed, we can move this, you know, 1 to the side. So I'm just going to copy the structure right here, like so. And then here you can actually place the torch. And now the moment of truth. So this is extended. So what needs to happen is that this clock needs to be activated. The TNT is going to be duped and it's going to fall right on top of those pistons. Then this clock is going to trigger. And when the signal gets up to here, this is a pulse shortener actually, which is going to retract for a short period of time these pistons. The TNT is going to drop, it's going to be pushed slightly to the side, and it's going to blow up somewhere around the vicinity of these blocks right here. And it's a good moment to test it, but before, I'm going to do a backup. Because yeah, I'm going to do yet another backup. I don't want, if this breaks, I want to have this back exactly as I left it. So I'm going to cut the signal right here and test the whole thing. Should work. There you go, it works flawlessly. And as you can see, it didn't break much for stuff. It blows up somewhere where we want it. Could be a little bit lower though, but if you want to tweak the timings, the only thing you need to do is just work with the timings right here on the repeaters. And at any moment where you actually close the circuit right there, this is going to stop working, nothing's going to break very seamlessly. And I think this is the entire contraption completed. You know, the only thing we need to do now is to test it and get our beautiful concrete back. Now, which color should I use? Oh well, yeah, let's do the magenta, because it's a really interesting color right here. I'm gonna use for a lot of our builds. So we're gonna stand right here, which turns on the machine, you can hear it right there, and start dropping blocks. And you're gonna see them going down. And at some point, yeah, they're getting blown up. We're still getting white, so. And this is so cool. This is so amazing. This is like the fastest way you have of making actual concrete in your Minecraft world. So I'm gonna do this for about, I don't know, 2 minutes. And after a while of doing this, I just, get out of the platform. We wait for the last one to blow up. One more block right there. As you can see, we had some spillage right here to the side. So you might want to like widen it up. I didn't have this in the other contraption, but that's a really interesting, thing to take into account. But if you go into the chest, we still are having blocks coming in. So white and magenta. I did this for about 30 seconds, guys, and I have like almost 3 stacks of concrete of assorted colors, which is so good. And let's see how many have we lost here. Where are them? Like, okay, so only 4 means this is a rare instance that we have right here, but I absolutely encourage you to like open this up a little bit and have some more water up to here. Another aspect of this farm is that with this same clock right here, if you can have for example, a tree farm or a cobblestone generator, which is an automatic farm, where you can have it, going through to the other side. So maybe like up to like right here, you can have the same TNT blowing up your cobblestone or your wood at the same time as it blows up your concrete. So this can be a multi-farm. Maybe you wanna tuck this up a little bit to the side so you have a little bit more space for you to work with the other type of farms. In which case, Mumbo's design is a little bit better. So you are absolutely encouraged to go to his video. It's going to be linked in the description. He has a world download, so you can download the world. Just make sure that you delete those floating TNT blocks. I don't know what he was thinking. I completely blew it up, and I thought that it wasn't working in 1.15, so I had to fix it, and this is what I came up with. So anyways, that's my version of Mambo Jambo's concrete break it block by block tutorial. I hope you like this. I'm sorry that I haven't been making videos for a long time. I have a new webcam because the other one broke. I also had a flu. I went on vacation, so a lot of in real life stuff happened, which led me out of the YouTube scene. But now I'm back. I'm hopefully gonna make a video every week or every 15 days. I also stream on Twitch, so if you wanna follow me on Twitter, I often let you know when I am going to stream next. Of course, you can join as well the Protect server, which is the server of which I'm proud of. I mean, you can join the Protect server Discord, not the Protect server. Protect server, you have to apply. It's complicated. I mean, you can apply. Of course, you can apply. If you're a technical player, you can apply, and you're gonna get voted in or out of the server. It's a really, really cool server of 10 years old, something like that. It blows my mind. You can go to Discord. A lot of cool discussions happen there. You can probably find me there. You can. You're welcome to talk to me if I have time. I'm going to try to reply to any of your questions. You can of course leave comments. I still try to reply them all. But that is going to be it for this tutorial. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.